You can absolutely rebrand your life in 90 days. I know this because I've been able to reach milestones of things I used to dream about, like reaching 60,000 subscribers in 6 weeks, launching my business in 3 months, and working with big brands like Tesla. And not only that, but being able to be a stay-at-home mom as a single mother. And even though I was putting in a lot of work for years in the background, the actual final push to these achievements came in a space of 90 days or less, which is the season we've entered into now, the great lock-in from September to December. This is the time where you actually lock in, put in the time and energy to actually tip you over to where you want to be. I'm going to share with you the key habit changes that I used in the 90-day windows of the great lock-in to attract the things that I wanted and achieve my goals without hustling. The first thing you need to have in order to rebrand your life in 90 days is audacity. Now, this is something that comes naturally to me because I'm a Pisces, I dream big, and nothing is impossible for me. One could say that I'm delusional, and I'll be inclined to agree. Last year in September, I decided that I wanted to launch a challenge, and without questioning how I was going to do it or whether people were going to sign up, I started planning and putting in the work to launch in November. Before I knew it, over 1,000 women had signed up for the launch event. And I also remember the moment that I decided that I wanted to be a speaker. I went on my Instagram and added speaker to my name. I was owning being a speaker and letting people know that I was open to speaking engagement. Less than a month after that, YouTube themselves reached out to me to be a speaker at one of their retreats because I had audacity to do something I'd never done before. And that's one of the main things that I believe sets apart successful people. They're willing to be the first, they're willing to take the risk because they have this belief in themselves that they can do anything. If you want to be outstanding, you have to be willing to stand out. You need to be audacious enough to put yourself forward for the big things, for the scary things, because the gag is no one says it's not going to be scary, but being audacious means that you're doing it anyway. If you want to achieve something in 90 days, which is practically 3 months, you need to be delusional. You need to have a self-belief that even though I've never been there yet, even though I've never done this, I can do it and I'm willing to put in the work in order to do it. And that takes us to the next thing that you need to do if you want to rebrand your life in 90 days. Only having audacity or manifesting is not going to get you the results that you want. I didn't just put speaker in my bio and just waited for somebody to approach me. I didn't just decide to launch a challenge and then just wait for people to sign up. I created content on my experiences and things that I wanted to be known for. So when YouTube were hosting a women's wellness retreat, I was an obvious choice for their panelists. And I was constantly promoting my launching event on all my social media platforms until over 1,000 women signed up for it. It's not just about putting in the work or being busy, but it's about doing things that are aligned with what you actually want to achieve. The reason why it's taking you a long time to achieve your goals is not that you don't want it bad enough or you're not putting in the work. It's because you're doing too much and too little at the same time. So during this great lock-in, I challenge you to be clear on exactly what you want to achieve and exactly what you need to do to achieve it. Then focus and lock in for the next 3 months without being distracted by other things. Next thing you want to do to rebrand your life in the next 90 days is to remove the noise. I live in seasons. Q1 and Q4 are my sowing season where I lock in. I don't want to speak to anyone on the phone. I don't want anyone to text me. I'm not consuming, I'm creating content. I reduce my alcohol intake. My social calendar is free unless it's birthdays, weddings, or any other big occasions. I am locked all the way in. Listen, we're all guilty of this. Spending hours on the phone, doom scrolling on social media, binge watching your favorite shows. During this 90-day window when we need to be locking in, all of that is noise. That's distracting you and slowing you down from where you need to be. 3 months is not a long time. If you want to achieve your big goals, there's some adjustments that you need to take. I don't call them sacrifices because you are still going to be pouring pouring into yourself. So you cannot afford to sabotage yourself with the noise. This is the time to break all ties, let go, and invest in yourself. The next way to rebrand your life in the next 90 days is to use the peacock effect. Peacocks show off their bright feathers, not because it's practical. It actually makes them vulnerable to predators, but because it displays confidence, strength, and vitality. Not all of my videos go viral. In fact, not all of my videos do well. Is that uncomfortable? Yes. Is that cringy? Potentially. But I keep creating. I keep showing up because firstly, my value is not determined on how well my videos do, but in my resilience to be able to show up for myself and my community, even when things are not going the way that I want them to. If you want to do something new, if you want to put yourself out there, if you want to start a business, you have to embrace the cringe that comes from doing that. You are doing things in front of people. You are asking people to give you money for something that you're selling. You're asking for a higher salary or higher rate for a service that you're providing. That's not comfortable. That's not easy. Just like a peacock, show up, be seen, be proud, even when it's not comfortable. The next way you're going to rebrand your life in the next 90 days is taking advantage of momentum. I love the change of seasons. They signify change, new beginnings, and opportunities, which is why we have the great lock-in at the start of September and New Year, New Me at the beginning of January. It's called the fresh start effect. Research from Wharton shows that people are more motivated to pursue their goals during moments that feel like a new chapter. Also because of the seasonal and biological rhythms in January and September. Not that you can't change your life at any point in the year, but it would be amiss of you to not embrace and take advantage of these natural momentum phases. That way there's less pushing, there's less forcing, there's less chasing, because you're naturally motivated. You want to put in the work, you want to invest your time and energy into pursuing your goals. Next thing you want to do to rebrand your life in the next 90 days is to have an eagle's perspective. It's very easy when you post and nobody likes, when you launch something and nobody buys, when you reach out for an opportunity and nothing comes from it, or when you apply for a job and you don't get it, say what's the point and to give up. But when I'm working on my goals, I like to think of myself as an eagle flying to a specific destination, because it's very arrogant and very short-sighted to think that just because you've started, just because you've taken the action, you're not going to face any challenges along the way. So even when things don't go according to plan, or even if I flop along the way, I'm not wasting time feeling sorry for myself or beating myself up for things not working out. I'm taking that setback and I'm reflecting on what went wrong and what I can do in the future to prevent it from happening again. When you have an eagle's perspective, you appreciate the journey for what it is, the good and the bad, and you're able to pick yourself up quickly and learn from your setbacks. Last thing I want to say is bet on yourself. Don't let what's happened or what's not happened define or defeat you. You're still here. The year hasn't ended, so it's not too late. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. It's never too late to become the woman of your dreams. But in order to do this, you have to commit to yourself and keep the promises you made to yourself. So lock in. What have you got to lose anyway? I'll see you in the next video.